The Whispering Shadows, a lesson in trust. The small town of Eldridge had always been quiet and peaceful, nestled between dense forests and rolling hills. But one night, a chilling tale unfolded that would forever change how its residents viewed their quaint town. Emily, a young journalist, had recently moved to Eldridge to escape the bustle of the city. She rented a charming old house at the edge of town, near the Whispering Woods. The locals warned her about the woods, saying that strange things happened there after dark, but Emily dismissed their stories as mere superstition. One evening, while researching for her next article, Emily stumbled upon an old, dusty book in the attic. The book contained accounts of disappearances and eerie events all linked to the Whispering Woods. Intrigued, Emily decided to investigate, hoping to uncover a hidden story that would put her name on the map. As the sun set, Emily grabbed her flashlight and headed into the woods. The air grew colder and the shadows lengthened as she ventured deeper. The trees seemed to close in around her, their branches whispering secrets in the wind. She felt a chill run down her spine but pressed on, determined to find something worth writing about. Suddenly, she heard a faint cry for help. She followed the sound, her heart pounding in her chest. The cries led her to an old abandoned cabin hidden among the trees. The door creaked open, and she stepped inside, flashlight in hand. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. The furniture was covered in cobwebs, and the floorboards creaked under her weight. Emily's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. She saw old photographs of families, their faces blurred and eyes hollow. The cries for help grew louder, coming from the basement. With a deep breath, Emily descended the creaky stairs into the dark basement. The air was damp and cold, and she could barely see. As she reached the bottom, her flashlight flickered again and went out. Panic set in as she fumbled to turn it back on. When it finally flickered back to life, she was met with a horrifying sight. Standing in front of her was a ghostly figure of a woman, her eyes empty and her face twisted in pain. The figure reached out to Emily, whispering, "Help me." Emily's scream caught in her throat as she backed away, her flashlight slipping from her hand and shattering on the floor. The room plunged into darkness. Emily felt a cold hand grip her shoulder, and the whispering grew louder, filling her mind with a cacophony of voices. She ran up the stairs, stumbling and tripping in the dark, desperate to escape. Bursting through the cabin door, she sprinted through the woods, branches tearing at her clothes and skin. She didn't stop until she was back in her house, locking the door behind her. She collapsed on the floor, shaking and gasping for breath. The whispers had followed her, echoing in her mind. She knew she had to leave Eldridge. The next morning, Emily packed her belongings and left without looking back. She never wrote about what she had experienced, but she carried the lesson with her. Some stories are better left untold, and sometimes, it's best to trust the warnings of those who know better. Lesson. The moral of the story is to trust the wisdom and warnings of those with experience, even if they seem superstitious or unfounded. Sometimes, the most important truths are hidden in the tales and traditions of a community.